your hands ready on chat.
Do you? It looks like we're live.
Live?
Live. What's up, guys? This is Jimmy, and that is
Calvin.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. And Chris wants tacos. We all want tacos, Chris. Heck
yes, we all want tacos. I see we have Lucky 13 in the house.
As always.
Oh, here we go, the C-dub thing. How you doing, Turkins? Thank you very much for joining.
Well, it's good evening over here, but hey, good morning to all works as well.
It'll be morning in about an hour and a half.
Yes, usually around our cutoff time is when, oh, it's morning time.
Man, does this say right? We got 9 viewers already?
Man, we really must have promoted this controversial episode really well.
I see we've got Carmen in. How you doing? So how's your week been going?
Crazy busy. I'm slowly recovering from Thanksgiving and then spending Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out at Pleasanton with the model train show. Dealing with that, filming everything, coming back home, trying to edit everything literally like the night I get home so I can try and upload something. I haven't even shot the video. I'm probably not even going to get it till Saturday at this point, honestly. Talking about how we set up everything, why it takes so long, problems we ran into, all that stuff. I'm just going to bump that till Saturday. I'm also having a little bit of a problem with the USB plug on my GoPro. So I got to try and investigate that so I can't get video to my screen. So I'm just like, oh, this is going to be fun. So whatever. But I'll work around that.
How you doing? Yeah, mine was the same. I had a very busy Thanksgiving. Ended up cooking the turkey, got everything all set up. We ate, and then had to be at work at 5:45 that night up at Sears. Worked until I think I got out of there like at 11:30 that night. Then went back the next day at noon, and man, it was a busy weekend.
That sucks.
I'm just thankful it's over.
You just gotta wait till around Christmas time, and then you can really be like, I hate the holidays. I'm not the Grinch, but I hate them.
I used to ask all the new people, I'd ask them, so do you really love Christmas? Oh, I love it so much. It's the best holiday. I love it. And I'm like, you won't love it after this year.
Oh, man. Well, do we want to get started and get ready to, hopefully, okay, I'm just going to disclaimer this from the start. I'm going to try and keep up on chat, but guys, please, seriously, don't turn this into a bash sesh flame war in the chat area. We're not intending this episode to be a flame war against any people or anything like that. We're just trying to express our concerns and get some feedback and that whole thing. So I'm going to try and do my best on the chat, but try and also police yourself, guys.
So what started this whole thing up was Cyber Monday. We're seeing a lot of links just boom, 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 all over the place. It's like everybody just said, here, look at this. This is on sale. It's affiliate link. Hey, look at this. This is on sale. It's affiliate link. Just one affiliate link after another. And I even thought about joining in. I thought, you know what? No, I'm not like that. I'm not going to take and join in on that. But it got me and Calvin to talking about when does it kind of go a little bit too far? Now, granted, here on YouTube, the way things have been going with the ad revenue and everything, everybody's kind of looking for another way of getting something coming in. Because even though we do it, like I do it for a hobby, you do it for a hobby, even if we didn't get anything at all, we would still put videos out. But if you want to try to have any semblance of a schedule, you've got to be able to put out enough money to buy parts for your 3D printers. You need to be able to buy filament. You need to do the things that keep the channel kind of going that way. And so one of the biggest things is affiliate links. That's one of the easiest ways of if somebody really wants to support the channel, they can do that. We have Patreon that, you know, we tried to do that. I mean, Patreon, quite honestly, between the money that I put out to other creators and the money that I take in, I get maybe $5. Honestly, if even that, I honestly think it's probably less than that. But I don't mind doing that because, you know, it kind of helps out the smaller channels. I try to help them out the best I can that way. But the one thing that's kind of nice is like I have the Amazon affiliate, which is really cool because when somebody buys a roll of filament or something, then I get a little bit of kickback. And I'm not talking $5 or something like that. We're talking, you know, a few cents here, a few cents there. Maybe if it's a big item, you get $1 or $2. And what happens is then you can take that in the form of a gift card and purchase a roll of filament or put that money toward a roll of filament. And so you can save, it's almost like using a coupon code to that point. So it's, you know, it's a pretty good little deal that way. But there's also a lot of other affiliate links out there, and one in particular, which I'm not going to name the name, but I'm sure everybody knows because almost every YouTuber out there at the moment seems like they are affiliate of this company.
Not me, not me.
You sell out. We're going to turn you into a sellout yet.
Hey, should be noted, I don't have no Patreon. I don't use no affiliate links. You know, just saying I'm better than Jimmy in that department.
No, just here, give to my PayPal account, please.
Buy me PB&Js.
Anyway, the whole thing was, you know, I actually started to look into it because I thought, you know, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and start looking into it. And then the more I started looking into it and the deeper I got into it, and about the time I actually did get an affiliate link and I really start looking at it, it's like, I can't do this. Mainly because I started watching on YouTube or on Twitter. I started seeing the comment stream, how it was starting to go. It was, you know, they take your money, they don't send the product, but yet they want to give you store credit. And which that right there is a whole fishy thing right there. But it was, you know, just kind of piling up, you know, there's a lot of people that apparently have been done wrong by this company. I don't know for sure exactly all the details. I just saw, you know, this one little section of it to where I started really looking into the fine print and reading through it. And it kind of concerned me a little bit. So that's the reason why that link will never see the light of day. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that account out. You still there?
I'm still there, sorry.
Oh, okay.
We're keeping up on chat right now. I'm like trying to focus on that and listen to you and that whole thing. But I guess I'll kind of interject about here. I'm not going to name any names here because that's not my style of doing things. But the thing that I found really frustrating, especially around the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that stuff, is it went from people just tweeting out generally, hey, yo, I got an affiliate link to blankety blank company. You want to support my channel? Yeah, you know, that whole thing. But then what happened is all of a sudden it was like somebody starts mentioning, oh, I might be interested in a blankety blank printer, or I might be interested in a blankety blank widget. And then all of a sudden, like 10 people start jumping in going, you know, I got an affiliate link on my channel page, so, you know, if you can buy the thing, buy it with my link, da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, whoa. We're getting a little ridiculous here. We're now individually searching out people's tweets to then kind of like try and corner them into, you're gonna use my affiliate link, right? You're gonna do that, okay? You know, it went from just being a general thing to almost like bullying people in a way. Not that they were necessarily intending to do that, but it could come across as they're trying to force people into using their affiliate link. And I'm like, okay, this is going a little far, guys. This is not cool. This is not the way that this whole affiliate link thing should be working, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I saw some of it, and it kind of went from, hey, if you guys really want to help me out, please go ahead and use this affiliate link, to, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. You all right?
Yeah, it got really irritating there, and I'll be honest, it kind of really put me off to certain people. Kind of like, okay, you have lost any semblance of professionalism here. Now it's just become who can out affiliate link the other person, and I'm like, okay, this is not the way that this should work. And more and more, I'm just saying to myself, I'm glad I didn't go down that road. I guess, I mean, ask Jimmy in private on chat before the show happens. Man, I am one cynical person, or it's like something happens and I'm like, yeah, this is going to blow up real soon. Something happens and I'm like, oh crap, I was right again. Because I feel bad always having a cynical viewpoint on the community. But then again, it's like when so many things that you were cynical about turned out to be true, you're like, crap, I guess my cynicism is actually well founded. And I'd love to be wrong on things, but I just feel like so many things in the community are just going, and I'm like, this isn't good. And the whole affiliate links running around, throwing them in people's faces thing really was like, this is uncalled for, guys. This is not how the community is supposed to work. If you want to run your individual channel that way, fine. But when a bunch of people start doing that, it really starts sending the wrong impression.
But now that brings us to, we went from the good, as far as, affiliate links helping out YouTubers and helping people out that way. That's kind of the good of the title. The bad is kind of, customer service at some of these companies that are giving their customers. Now, for the ugly part is, I'm actually seeing that some of the YouTubers are going to have to start stepping in and say, if you use my affiliate link and they did this to you, contact me and I'll take care of it. And it's like, that's really should never even have to happen. It's a shame that somebody who is, first off, is the way I look at it, whenever YouTube, somebody from YouTube does a product review or is trying to help sell a product, try to, to put it out there to the public and let the public decide whether they want to purchase it or not. To me, they've done their portion of it. It's then if the person clicks on the affiliate link and it goes to that company should take care of it from that point. It should not require the person from YouTube to have to interject if there is a customer service issue, because they're not being paid by the company to work for the company. They are just receiving a small amount back as far as a commission for helping sell that product. I know.
It's like,
it's that sticky wicket.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they're trying to now downsize CS or customer service so much that they're now taking their quote brand ambassadors in a way and trying to turn them into customer service as well. And you're just like, wow, that's not cool. That now we have to embarrassingly crawl up to our favorite YouTuber with our tail between our legs, hope they get our message buried underneath all the other messages, and then hope they can kind of nudge non-existent customer service or very diminished customer service into looking at the problem and hopefully rectifying it. And it's like, that's not how it's supposed to work. Customer service is supposed to be, I don't care if it's contracted out through a third-party company. Customer service is supposed to be there to help take care of problems like, I have to parse my printer didn't show up in the box when they were supposed to, and how do I go about getting that fixed, versus, you kind of get where my little mini rant is going. The main point is, don't try and make other people do the job that you were supposed to be doing in the first place. especially when it potentially makes everybody, including that person who the brand ambassador and the company as well, for that matter, look really bad when something goes wrong. The last thing you want to do as a YouTuber or any person of influence when you back a product is knowingly back something that is problematic. If you did something in good faith and you did not realize something was going on, that's fine. But when you knowingly know that there's some shady stuff going on and you still slap your name on something, that ain't cool. That just is not how it should be. You know, money should not trump ethics. Money should not trump good common sense, and money should not trump, you know, just general be good to thy neighbor mentalities.
I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat here, just looking. I'm seeing where Lucky 13 Vinyl. What about people channels that just tweet links, that just tweet link affiliate links and don't disclose it? Is it up to the person to figure out it, in the URL it's an affiliate? That's the whole thing. Like with Amazon, it is very clear in their rules. You must say this is an affiliate. You cannot just take and say, oh, look, this is on sale. Oh, look, this is on sale. You can't do that. You have to say, if you wish, here's my affiliate link. And, you know, and you have to say, this is an Amazon affiliate link. Like even in my videos, if you go down to the video description, when it comes to the Amazon portion, it says this is an affiliate link. You can't just post it as if it is the product link.
Chris just said his understanding of the law is that an influencer has to have an about page or something somewhere online that is easy to find and identify, and that must include notice of affiliation. Yeah, that's also why you'll notice when people are doing sponsored content on Instagram or Twitter or something like that, they have to, by law, have the word either hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad, hashtag influencer, something that clearly states that it's pretty much kind of like on TV late at night when they have this is a paid promotion for blankety blank. The broadcasting company has no affiliation with it. That is done by law, so that way people don't think that the broadcaster approves of what's being broadcast and stands by it. It's their way of legally pulling themselves away. And one thing that was public a while ago is one of the Kardashian girls actually got into a lot of trouble with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, because she was technically advertising her own products or advertising another company's products on Instagram and Twitter and not clearly disclosing that she was doing that. And they got fined like a whole bunch of money and actually got threatened by the FTC, I think, to be shut down because they were repeatedly doing it. So don't just think that, oh, because I'm a little fry, they won't come after you. If they figure out you're habitually doing that, they might come down pretty hard on you, and you don't want to mess with the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. And as a general rule of thumb, it's nice to say this is an affiliate link, even if in your country or whoever's hosting the website or the terms of it don't explicitly state that. It's the polite thing to do to say, this is an affiliate link. I get a kickback. You don't have to use it. You don't have to put that in there, but make it clear that this is an affiliate link, regardless of what the law states, because, you know, certain people might not feel comfortable with that. And I totally respect that, you know.
Now, continuing with the ugly portion of this, as I was going further through the terms of service and everything that come to this company, then I start getting to the commission rates and how they're calculated, and pretty much it's based off of performance, that the more items that you sell through your affiliate, the more commission you earn. And when I started reading that, it's like I'm one of those type of people that whenever something starts bugging me, I would rather not do it than to try it. I would just rather just back off from it. And when I read that, I contacted Calvin. I was like, hey, this, guess what? Because he told me at the very beginning, do whatever you want, but don't come to me if I and expect don't expect to come back and say, and I hear, I told you so. And I'm like, hey, Calvin, guess what? He's like, I told you so.
And honestly, like I told Jimmy, I'm like, your decision on this makes no difference in our personal friendship, YouTube relationship, or anything like that. Unless you were to do something absolutely terrible and despicable or something like that, then that would be different. But with something like this, I'm very much somebody that it's like it's your own personal channel, it's your own personal whatever. But at the same time, even a couple months ago, when this whole certain unnamed company people started doing affiliate stuff with them started, I was just like, something about this just does not seem right. I didn't look into anything, but I guess for me, I'm overly cautious when it comes to these things, just because I know how fast things can go downhill when money's involved. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just being overly cynical, like I've said before. But given my previous track record of being cynical in private and things kind of happening that sort of were along the lines, I'm like, that kind of went the way that I thought. I was just like, you know what? I'm not super comfortable with this. I'm personally not even going to touch it. Then as time went on, I'm kind of like, yeah, no. So yeah, Jimmy had to embarrassingly come on over and be all like, yeah, you were right. And I'm like, okay, well, guess I was right again, but I didn't want to be.
No, the correct words was, I told you so. Hey, I see Greg the Great is in the house. How you doing, Greg?
What's up, Greg? Sorry, I'm cleaning up chat right now. It's what I'm good at doing with my ninja hands.
Oh, God. I just saw what you guys did. Thank you very much for catching that one.
Told you we were probably going to have something, and told you so. This is like ranking up right there with get in the car, loser. We're going to fill in the blanky blank location. Oh, crap. And told you so. The 3 catch lines that make it with Calvin.
That reminds me of what I had. It was about a month ago. I started getting a bunch of messages on my videos. Oh, what in the world? So I start looking through the messages. And it's all from this one guy. He's going through and spamming all my videos with his affiliate link. And I'm like, and you think this is going to work? Ban.
No, I mean it's like when people get a bit overzealous with their affiliate link, just running around like screaming it in people's faces. You're like, no, ban hammer time.
Chicken says he spies a dragon on thy shelf. There it is. You made one terrific dragon, my friend. I mean, that thing is just gorgeous.
That is crazy.
This is that Z marble. You can see a little flecks of black in it, so it gives it kind of a marble look.
You know what would actually make that model really stand out is if you took some India ink and you thinned it down like a couple of drops of it into some rubbing alcohol, and then you slapped it all over the model so it especially hung down in the low areas. Yeah. You could create some epic shadow effects that would probably make that look a lot more deep, if you will.
Yeah, it would.
Very, very easy way, very easy weathering trick. That would be sweet.
He says, have I checked out the latest models of the gargoyles? No, I haven't. I'll check them out.
Jimmy got more stuff to print. Jimmy got more stuff to print.
White boy dance. White boy dance.
Okay, back to the previously scheduled topic of the good, the bad, and the ugly of affiliate links.
Squirrel.
Jimmy just doesn't want to talk about how awkward it was when he had to admit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you were right, Calvin. You're right. He's like, I told you so. You listen to me from now on. You listen. I'm like, yes, sir. That sounds something like, "Hi, Poppy."
Next time I'm coming down there, I am totally smiting Jimmy for not obeying what I said.
Yeah, so I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'm just go on the way I've been going, the way I look at it.
Honestly, I know I'm probably gonna get some flack for saying this, but I feel kind of like people have rode the YouTube ad revenue gravy train for way too darn long, got way too darn complacent with it, and then all of a sudden when something comes in to upset it, and I'm not saying I don't feel for people who make a lot of money off of it, but at the same time you can't rely just on one source of income for all your channel, or one source of income is a vast majority of your channel's revenue source. While I feel bad for them that people are losing money on this, I also feel like people need to be thankful that the ad program ran as long as it did, given all the controversies YouTube has had over the years. Be it from copyrighted content to stuff that's not even legal to da 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 da. People should be happy that the ad program has run as long as it does, considering a lot of advertisers have jumped ship in the past and there have been ad crises and things like that. So I feel kind of like people are now overreacting to this, and now they're running to any source of secondary income that they can without really taking a moment and going, wow, gee, is this really a smart idea or not? And a little bit of ways back in the chat, I think who was it? It was Dan said, he made a really good point. He goes, should know the brand before backing the brand. Just because they throw money, you throw money if you promote their product doesn't mean it's good for your credibility. And I totally agree with that. I was going to say, personally, if I was going to be doing business with a company that was offering me an affiliate link, I would probably have a couple of friends pay them. When I say pay them in terms of cover the cost of purchasing the items, have people that they do not know are associated with me do business with said company, so they don't know that there's any, oh, this person's doing it, so we'll act really good. Have third-party friends place an order for you, have it shipped to them, so there's no knowing that it's you. Double check that the company has good business practices, their customer service is good, make sure there's no problems. And if that works, then be like, yes, I'd be interested. But that's only because you've kind of anonymously checked them and vetted them by ordering through them, by not showing that you're yourself, which is perfectly fine. And I think it's actually a good measure of a company, especially for somebody who's well known. It's a good way of double checking that you're not going to get screwed over because the company just treated you nice and then they treat your customers like crap. So that's personally what I would do. I know I'm being a little bit extreme, but if you really want to be careful, that's what you should do. Or even if you're just going to order the stuff yourself, have a personal relationship with them before you go going, yeah, Bob has some stuff from this company. And then you figure out the business ethics are like that.
Well, just like with I was going to buy a laser engraver from off of GearBest, and then I decided, well, there's this other company that came up on Facebook that I'd never heard of before. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and order from them so I can just see how their customer service is. And I think it was called TomTop.com, I think was the name of it. So I ordered from them. So we'll see how that turns out.
I'm genuinely interested in that little laser engraver thingamajig, quite honestly. I know it's like way too tiny for most stuff that I would do, and I'm really not sure how well it would work. But I'm actually curious about using it to actually score wooden parts so they can just come along and chop them out with an X-Acto knife. But interesting to goof around with.
I think it's a 1000 milliwatt, so I think it might do.
No
I don't
burn
know if
wood
it would
do.
actually cut balsa wood or not.
Most of what I would work on is like 1/32 inch. I know from screwing around with a 500 milliwatt, that could burn into wood. It wouldn't burn through it, but it would definitely leave a nice black mark. The main point is making a nice enough score line that you can get an X-Acto in there and it'll just follow the path if you were, or you had to, you could double pass it, but I think that's a little bit extreme.
Greg says he hates Tom Top. Horrible support.
Crap.
Well, the latest is only $68.
I mean, I'll be honest, I have not purchased from the unnamed company that has been not named in this stream, but I have purchased multiple items through Aliexpress and had no problems with them. But it should also be noted that they're more of like an Amazon where they just act as the third party for customer service, hosting, and something like that, and that sort of thing. I mean, I got in, let's see, an Ultimaker 2+ style fan shroud for like $12. I got in a bunch of little Teflon isolators for the Ultimaker. You know, yeah, it takes a while to get the stuff, but up to this point, I haven't had any problems with them because they have a very good customer service policy. They ask you, did you get your order? Was it received? Did you have any problems? Da 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 da. But they seem to care a lot more about their customer base than certain other companies do. And I feel like if I did have any problems with them, it'd probably get rectified in a pretty expedient manner, especially if they pride themselves on, you know, if you don't get your order within the time period that's specified, you know, you do get a refund, we cancel the order, end of story, you know, or other things like that. So that's at least helpful in a way.
Like Chris was saying, why do they call it 1000 milliwatt and why not just call it 1 watt? Turkham says 1000 milliwatts sounds like a lot more power. That's exactly right.
Because let's face it, how many people are going to understand when people see watt versus milliwatt, unless they really understand, they're going to think 1 watt is less power than 1,000 milliwatts. So it almost makes sense to just say 1,000 milliwatts because it's going to be easy to say it's bigger than 5, bigger than 500. Oh, it's 1,000. You know, even though we know it's the same, some people might not.
Yeah.
I will admit, I still want that fire suit for like $60 on AliExpress. I think it's
You in that
sweet.
fire suit, man. What's up with this? Is it a silver one or what?
No, some one's like $150. No, it's the one that's like similar to like what your average fireman wears. So, you know, I could rock it when I go to the welding shop, totally annoy my welding teacher, just cruise into that thing and be like, hey, let's go weld. What the heck? I'll be honest though, if I did actually do a lot of professional welding, I would actually look into investing in something like that because let's say you have to weld something in an awkward position and you know you're going to get rained on with sparks or something. Might not be a bad idea because it would definitely protect you more than cotton coveralls.
It reminds me back when I did my welding certification for overhead welding. That was all bad.
Yeah, I have, note to self, have not done overhead welding. Don't plan to do it anytime soon.
Really? It's fun.
Yeah.
Vertical up overhead. That's the two. In order to get the welding certification, it was with 7018 welding rods. It was vertical up, and I did with 3/8 inch plates. So I was certified for up to 3/4 inch steel. And then the other one was overhead. And you have to take and do full weld it all you have to do root pass, fill it all the way in, grind it flat. They use a scarfing nozzle to cut off the back of the sacrificial plate off the back, grind everything flat. Then they do the bend test with the press. I actually got my certification on that too.
Go you.
Now everybody's like, what's 7018? Everybody just does flux score.
7018's, I believe, 70 thousandths tensile strength rod. 7018's pretty darn common. It and 6011 or 6013, I believe, are like the two most common rods for welding with. I believe 6011 is harder to weld with, but it can burn through a lot more garbage,
Yeah.
which people jokingly call it the farm boy rod, because literally farmers will have that thing with their portable generator welding unit, cruise out to whatever's broken, brush off the mud on it, and just go.
Yep.
Stick
That's all
the
you have to
thing
do is brush off the mud. It goes right through rust and everything else. That's what I used to use out here all the time.
I mean, I wouldn't trust it for nuclear welding doing that. But if you need to repair something so you can get it back to the shop to get it done better, yeah, it'll hold more than strong enough. I mean, I've made some ugly looking welds that held together just fine.
I used to use 6011 for the root pass and then go to 6013 over it.
Makes sense. Good old days. Oh man.
What's this? Gave myself a center parting with welding under an old VW bed, fell off as I took the lid off. Lid to the what is this? The weld landed on his head and rolled back. Ah, that hurt.
Why do you think I always wear that Nomex fire hood thing? People call me stupid, but I'm like, it prevents any flying errant sparks from getting anywhere near your head, your face, your ears, your neck, your shirt. Call me stupid, but I'm not going to be in the ER with burns down my back.
I used to weld without any of that stuff on. I just go out there in a short sleeve shirt and weld.
I almost did a TIG welding demo tonight without gloves on. I said, no, I'm doing a demo. I'm going to use gloves.
Well, TIG welding, you got to use gloves.
There's only about 40 amps on some ridiculously thin sheet steel. But yeah, better safe than sorry.
Man. Well, we got off topic fast.
Yeah, you can blame me in fire suits.
Calvin, you're just protecting that beautiful head of hair, be honest. I plead the fifth. Jacob says he Mrs. Welding. I do too, actually. I used to really enjoy it.
I'll be honest. I personally prefer brazing and soldering a little bit over welding. But then again, just the whole process of taking bits of material, sticking them together, and making a finished product, regardless of the method of soldering, welding, or brazing, it's a really big accomplishment when you're done. It's not like the same feeling you get with how you used modeling cement and I put pieces together. It's like you actually took pieces of metal and you stuck them together with something and you used fire and heat and danger and you made something. It actually, the sense of accomplishment you get is much greater,
Yeah.
It's like, this didn't make it into the video, but this is one of the brass locomotives that I CNC machined myself. The little grill area was 3D printed, but I rolled the roof myself on an English wheel. I bent the edges with a bending brake. I machined all the brass parts. The door was a separate piece that got milled in there. The chassis was something that I purchased, but I had a big sense of accomplishment when I got that thing done. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of work and yeah, it was pain at times, but I enjoyed building it, and that was the big thing,
It says, Chris says, looks like C-Dub is only 217 away from shaving his head. I don't know if he'll shave it, but I think a buzz cut would look good.
You guys want to see me in my bald days, go and watch my old videos of me talking about building a machine that never happened. Like, go back like 5 years on my channel and you'll find it.
I'll take him to the nearest Great Clips and we'll give him my haircut.
Oh, gosh. And then I can walk around and yell like, hey, I'm Jimmy from Jimmy Shaw's Tidbits. Go watch my channel. It's really awesome. I work at Sears and I also do sandblasting on the side. I held a welding cert at one point in my life.
Where did it all go wrong?
That was just so bad I couldn't help it.
I know it was.
I'll tell you after the stream what I told Rick over at Pleasanton, and he was absolutely dying laughing over.
Oh, no.
It was a good one. Oh, thanks, Turkham. Yeah, for being a model that I literally put together in my spare time, it's not perfect, but it's a narrow gauge, short line railway locomotive. So the thing doesn't need to look super great, and that's kind of what I like about it. I have another one that I'm working on, but it isn't done yet. But the one that I did show is pretty cool because it does have a little sound system inside. So when you're running it, it makes all like little locomotive noises, not in a cheesy way, but it's actually really cool.
C-Dub is as mean as Greg. I don't know if he's as mean as Greg or as mean as Chris or Curtis, whatever he said to Greg about the barbecue sauce on steak. That was a funny one.
Oh, man. So we're going off topic, but this is the part in the show where we just like start reading the chat and things turn into this great show and tell session. But
Phil, the chat is more entertaining than we are.
Yeah, I know. Turkham said, just wondering also, is everybody else thinking Barnacles has lost the plot of posting photos of him on the loo, etc., or is it just me? I think it's partly his style because he's always done the hashtag poopnap photos for a long time, and it's always been kind of like an ongoing joke. Actually, one of his DJI videos that he did with Volair Media, there's actually a scene of him at the end sitting on the toilet holding a piece of pizza with the drone buzzing like 4 inches away from him going, man, if that thing gets any closer to his leg, it's going to be an ER trip in the next 3 seconds. But
I'm just going to say, what got cut off?
It's his style, but I'm just going to publicly say this personally. It's not my kind of thing. I personally find it has become a little tasteless and a little bit overdone. But then again, you do have to remember his channel is not like mine, which is geared towards a large family-friendly audience. His is more geared towards people who find adult jokes funny and find overdone poop nap jokes funny and things like that. It's like when I was at the train show, people were talking about how there's too much crap on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, well, I used to try and keep my channel family-friendly. People are like, sweet, now I can watch train tour videos on your layout. I'm like, please do. I did actually have parents saying that to me when I mentioned I had other train tour videos. Like, you do? I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I was like, oh, thank you. But you know, I don't know. That's kind of my take on the thing. Everybody has their own style. I mean, mine is kind of the single camera, just do it yourself projects or going to events and keeping it simple. But I also have always felt like, in a way, I don't want to, turn people off to what I do because I decide to have some really over the top, slightly raunchy / inappropriate sense of humor, stuff that people might, a vast population might find offensive or might find tasteless enough that they don't feel like they would care to share it with their friends. I'm not saying that he doesn't put out interesting videos and he hasn't, done some cool projects in the past, but I sometimes feel like his whole push to just be like over the top kind of actually turns people off to him, which, that's just me.
I personally love the guy. I think he's a great guy, and I especially when I got to actually meet him in person, he's one of the most respectful, nicest guys you will ever meet in person.
And that's the thing I
And
found funny is in person, he's like totally opposite from his YouTube character.
yeah, I mean, he made you feel so good whenever you meet him because it's like he is just tickled to death that somebody wants to visit with him. It's just a really nice guy. I can't say enough about him. But yeah, I mean, he's got a certain audience that he goes for, and I really miss his 3D printing videos. I really wish he'd bring those back.
Those, like I've said, and I'll say it again, his 3D printing videos are the reason why I own an Ultimaker 2. If it wasn't for all of his videos showing what he had made with his Ultimakers, I would have never bought an Ultimaker 2. To be perfectly honest, I would have maybe bought the wooden little printer bot pre-small day thingy, the $130 thing or something like that. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been a bad printer. I'm just saying that I wouldn't have had what I had because of his stuff. So yeah, when I say things about people with their YouTube character, I'm not talking about their actual private persona or anything like that. I'm just talking about the image that they portray for themselves online. But I will say, after meeting the guy at Maker Faire, I do have to agree with Jimmy. He was like, the funny thing is, he actually kind of knew me a little bit because his buddy Jason, his camera guy, knew me a bit. He's all like, hey, it was like, the fact that somebody who's so big actually kind of recognizes you is actually a really cool feeling. If you know what I mean, it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, this person does actually kind of know who I am, or they, at least recognize me, and it's a cool feeling. So yeah, I'm not saying that in his private life the guy is not like totally cool, but I think sometimes his YouTube character gets a little bit warped. But then again, he's kind of typecast as that, so it's his own personal thing.
It's just so look at the chat. Dan Curtis, why have I been calling you Tim tonight? No, it's late. Sorry for that. Curtis, like, wait, I was Tim.
You know how many times people have gotten my dad's name wrong? They keep calling him Tim instead of Tom. It's almost like it was at one point, it was almost a running joke at my parents' church, like, oh, it's Tim. Oh, wait, it's Tom.
Now I'll scroll all the way up to the very top of the chat. Whenever Curtis says, Timmy.
You can just call me C-Dub. That's perfectly fine with me.
I call him all kinds of things.
Mr. Told You So, Mr. Really, Mr. Why Didn't I Listen to You, Mr. Why You Always Right, right?
It's just a good thing we don't hit the live stream button whenever we're talking before and after the show.
Let's just put it this way. There's lots of stuff that gets said before and after the show that when we say if it went public, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but then at the same time, it's kind of like that's like our private conversation time. Let's just say the things that get mentioned, some of them are, when I say somewhat sensitive topics, they have to do with things that we are or are not going to discuss on the show. And then there's sometimes where we just like totally take digs at each other and it just goes like downhill really fast, but it's really funny.
Yeah, we talk with different accents sometimes.
Yeah, it's almost scary what we do sometimes because it's like, wait, what? Did we really just do that? Oh, geez, not salmon spaghetti. No. Oh.
Your favorite, isn't it?
No. Never ordered it yet, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. I am not a big salmon guy, so salmon really does not belong on spaghetti. I'm sorry. Kind of like cold chicken doesn't belong on salad. I'm sorry, but no.
Greg wants to know if you cut your hair.
Heck no. No, it's been really damp lately, so and there's a little bit of gel left in it from the train show, so that's why my hair looks as awesome as it does. Y'all jealous, admit it.
I'm gonna take a straightening iron to that thing.
My hair goes like down to here. Oh man. This is going downhill fast like it usually does around like the hour mark with the show. It just goes. Oh man. So Curtis, when are we gonna get together and get nanas and work on that Moai thing that's been sitting at Jimmy's for like way too stinking long?
I know we gotta get that going. We gotta get that ready for him before Christmas.
No kidding. Why do I have visions of us working on it before our road trip to Vegas?
I think we need to if we can.
Totally got to.
I've got to see how everything's working out for the schedule up there, because that's one bad thing about switching jobs when I did is now that my schedule's completely changed from what it used to be. In fact, this is one thing I've been meaning to talk to you about too. Is I don't know if it's next week or the week after they're going to start keeping the store open later. They do it every year. Usually, I think it goes till 11 o'clock, and then it goes until midnight the last week. So we may have to kind of redo the show to be on a different night or something, when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flexible. I look at it this way: if it's a temporary disruption, that's fine.
Yeah, it'll only be for about 2 weeks. I think that's usually when they kind of do that change.
And as it is, to be perfectly honest, so many people are probably going to be busy with the holidays anyways that I'm not that worried. Oh, come on, Chris. Are you insinuating that I make everything?
It's only a 4-6 hour build. Okay, 12 if Calvin helps.
I think he meant 1-2 if Calvin helps, not 12. I don't make things take 2 to 3 times as long. Watch it.
We'll definitely do it as a live stream. So when we do it as a live stream, I guarantee it's going to take 12 hours.
And here's what I have visions of. Like around the hour 3 mark, we're going to set my laptop up in front of the drum set, and I'm just going to be sitting there like randomly banging out a beat like, come on, guys, work faster. Hour 4, I'm going to be snoozing on the floor somewhere. Hour 5, you guys are going to steal my PB&Js. And hour 6, while you have a PB&J coma, I'm going to finish it out.
If it was after the first year, I'd be like, hey, Calvin, grab me that blunt. I'm joking. I wouldn't do it.
I know. Why do I have visions of us going out to Vegas like this? I cruise down to Courtney's like the day that I'm going to drive down, like the day before I'm going to drive down to your house because I'm leaving the house at like 4 in the morning and they aren't open at 4 in the morning. Sucks for me. Cruise down there, get like $20 worth of PB&Js or maybe $30 worth of PB&J, something like that. Cruise down to your place, and then we're going to have a lockbox full of like 4 of them for Jeff and his wife, and we're all going to be fighting over who has the key to open the thing by the time we hit Bakersfield.
Oh, man, that's going to be an epic trip, though. That's going to be fun.
What I really honestly want to try and do is approximate out how long the trip is going to take, then take like one of probably my Hero 2 just because it is so rugged and it works for almost anything. Set the thing up so it's filming a time lapse from when we leave Salinas in who knows when in the morning to when we get into Vegas, and set it up so that way we have like an extra hour or two's worth of footage that we can film in case we hit traffic or something. But pretty much time lapse the whole trip from Salinas to Vegas Man, that would make one heck of a show intro.
Yeah, it would.
Although I will admit, part of me still wants to do that whole Fremont Street zipline thing. I just honestly don't think there's going to be time.
Dude, you're crazy if you do that. You are crazy.
Dude, I have done way crazier zip lines in my life.
Like what? Lay on top of the car while somebody's going 100? I mean, what did you do is more crazier than that?
I've done the zip line at the Canyons ski resort in the off season out in Colorado, where I forget exactly how long it is, but it's easily. They say that they've clocked people on it going up to 55 miles an hour on the thing. You're about a good 300 feet up above a canyon. You have to ride like a 10-minute chairlift to get to the start point. Dude, it was epic. And it should be noted that I have a fear of heights as well. But when I get clipped in for a zip line, I'm like, let's go.
Oh, God.
A
I've
certain
been in
other
an
person
80-foot boom lift in the high wind. I do not like it at all. I cannot imagine being 12 stories up in the air, coming out Superman style, flying down stinking, what street is that?
Fremont Street, over the
Fremont
Fremont Street.
Street, underneath all those monitors. No thanks, man.
For as much as I have a fear of heights, I have this weird thing for zip lines. I can't explain it. Honestly, once I get clipped in, because I know how safety over-engineered all that stuff is, I'm kind of like, let go. I could just see me with the GoPro rig just cruising down there looking at all you guys, and you're all like, Calvin's an idiot, and I'm all like, yeah, watch me with Calvin!
Jeff and I be down there, don't jump, Calvin, don't jump. We'll be heckling you the whole time.
And then you know, Beth and Heather are at like other end of the thing filming, and they're like, you're nuts. You're nuts. Totally nuts. Hey, it's not just me that wants to do that. A certain other person, White Tigress 18, who's not on chat right now, says she really wants to do it as well, and she's never done zipline. Boom!
Yeah, I saw where she called me a chicken.
Hey, that wasn't supposed to be public. Hey, Joel wants to do it as well, so I can see it being like a three-way race between me, White Tigress 18, and Joel. It'd be fun.
There you go. Have you heard if anybody else is going to be heading down there?
No, I have not. I assume it's probably just going to be us, but you never know.
Yeah. What bulldozer thing?
I want to do it if there's a bulldozer thing. I hear there's actually this theme park in New Jersey, I think it is, where my dad's from, where you can, I think it's called like Diggerland or something, where you can actually drive construction equipment around, and there's rides built using construction equipment. I'm like, dude, that's like every kid's dream right there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, one thing I will say that Rick told me over at the train show in Pleasanton is we have to bring the Printerbot Smalls and try printing with it in the car on the way to Vegas. And I told him, dude, I am totally going to tell Jimmy we have to do that because that is an awesome idea.
Yeah, it is. I'll be more than happy to do it.
Totally down.
You can just have it on your lap. You're on Periscope.
That one's sleeping in the back of the car. Don't move, Calvin. Oh, shoot.
I'll hear him storm back there and be like, ow, ow, I'm burning
up. I'll be screaming for the fireball. Yeah, sorry, Chris. That digger thing is a lot more expensive than spending $50 to cruise down Fremont Street, though it does look cool.
Calvin said he'd pay the $50 for me to go with him.
I would, hey, if anybody wants to go on that ride with me, I am gladly paying for their ticket to do it so we can race each other. I'm dead serious because, you know, just throwing that out there. But I don't see it happening this time. Our trip is just going to be so short.
Oh yeah, because we're leaving Saturday morning, and then we got to be back Sunday night.
Yeah.
So we're just spending the night there.
And I was like, how long are you there for? I'm like, one night. Oh, that's it? Hey, I didn't schedule Jimmy's job.
I know. I had to make this promise to him, and that was I'll be back for Monday for the 1st.
That's yeah. Hey, I look at it this way. If we're still good friends with Jeff at the end of it, maybe we can do another trip later in the future, like when you have more time free.
You say as if he's not going to want us to come back.
By the time we're done trashing Vegas, oh yeah, he's not gonna want us back. I'm kidding. By the time we get done sticking him on the Fremont Experience Zipline, he's really not going to want us to come back. I'm kidding. Well, it's secretly just going to be like, psst, Cal, Michael on the Zipline? Where's Matt? Nah, I'm just teasing on all that stuff. I think it'd be fun to do more of the touristy stuff. Also, not when it's the height of tourist season out there. I mean, I know obviously it's always crowded, but like not around New Year's. No thanks. No
What's this
thanks.
about? You can cap Jimmy Hoffa and dig a hole to bury him?
That's just disturbing. I'm sorry. This whole drive a digger thing has now taken like a very disturbing turn.
Oh man.
I still think it's cheaper to drive a train.
Dan says he thinks he wants to get the dig and destroy package.
Oh my gosh. I'll be honest, if that digger thing wasn't so ridiculously expensive, I'd actually consider doing it, but no thanks.
I'm totally reading this one. Chris says touristy stuff in Vegas equals slut machines and blackjack. Not slot.
Not one-armed bandits.
Oh man, that's funny.
Okay, so for a cost comparison right now,
are you gonna check out the slut machines?
No, I'm checking out something else that you can do for about the same money as Diggerland. You can down at the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Orange County, California. You can rent for between $200 to $350 an hour. You can rent and drive under supervision of the railway employees either an old Pacific Electric streetcar, a diesel switch engine, a diesel road engine, or a streamlined passenger engine. Yeah, I think that's a slightly better deal than Diggerland. Just me, or Dig This, or whatever the heck it's called. Just saying.
Chicken says British trains are boring. We do get some old steam trains to go through now and then, but they are rare. I really like going on the steam trains. Those are fun.
Ditto. They're a lot of work, though. I mean, it's like people don't realize just how much work they are until you find out it takes even like a small locomotive like 4 hours to build up enough steam to even get going. Not even like road speed, like pull itself out of the roundhouse to get more fuel, to heat up more water, to put more water in. You know, it's like, it's a lot of work.
I see Daniel's in the house. We have John in the house. How you guys doing?
What's up? Yes, yes, I know I need to print an SW1500, but the problem is SW1500 is not, a 30-inch narrow gauge locomotive, dude. So, that's a problem.
Too bad, Calvin. Just do it.
Sorry, it's not my really sweet sound equipped brass locomotive that I made.
If you
Turkham
ever
said,
go to Wales, check out the train that takes you up to Mount Snowdon. Oh, really?
I think my parents' old hairdresser was from Wales or something like that.
Yeah,
I
the
hear
two
it's
steam trains I've been
absolutely.
on is the ones over at Roaring Camp and then over in Durango. Have you ever heard of the Durango Silverton train?
Oh, yeah. I've never been on it, but I've heard about it. It sounds crazy cool.
I rode when we went back there. We had to buy the tickets like 6 or 8 months ahead of time because it was so booked. And then when we went back there, they had a rock slide. And so
Oh,
we only got to do a half a trip. We had to go halfway to where they normally turn around for the winter season. So we never got to go from Durango to Silverton and back. We only went about halfway and then turned around and came back to Durango.
that's a bummer. Let's see. Railroads that I've been on. Fillmore and Western Railway down in Fillmore, California. Been on that a lot of times. If any of you guys saw the recent Loctite commercial where they pulled a train that had where the two couplers were effectively two pieces of steel that were Loctited together. They filmed that down there, a whole bunch of other stuff down there. That was a really cool commercial, by the way. Loctite, double thumbs up for me. That was crazy, crazy well done. I've been on the railway over at Ardenwood and Fremont a couple of times, especially when they're having their rail fest. When I got in for free because I'm an honorary member of one of the clubs that was down there, and I got to ride on their narrow gauge steam train. That was last. Um, what else? A lot of other little random ones, but I've always wanted to do the ones out in Colorado. But the problem is obviously the rock slides, the popularity, and all that stuff is like I wanted to do Roaring Camp as well, but it's like I couldn't bring myself after paying like $10 to park in the state in like the John Henry Cowell Redwoods Park thing. After forking over like 10 or $12 to do that, I couldn't bring myself to spend like another $20 to ride a train. I'm like, want to, but no.
What you need is you need to lay down the $56 for the moonlight dinner party. And what they do is
Now,
they
now
have
something like
barbecue
that.
dinner, and then they have live music, and then they take you on the train ride right after sunset. And so you actually go way up to the top of Bear Mountain in the dark. You get there, you get apple cider, and then you come back down for apple pie and everything before they finally fold it up at around 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, for $56, that's definitely a better deal than like spending $20 to go up the mountain back. With something like that, you're paying more, but you're getting a lot more for your money as well.
The beach train's another one. It's an interesting one. Now, that one's actually a diesel locomotive that
Yeah.
takes you over to the boardwalk.
Well, the Bear Mountain one is a narrow gauge line, and then the Boardwalk one's standard gauge. So that's the reason why they're
Right.
different. But I've wanted to try doing both of them, but I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back to the Durango Silverton train. I really want to do that one again. We were going to do it this year when we went back there, but nothing was quite right. And so the timing and everything just was wrong. So we decided we'll just do it when we go back there again next time.
When you go
What I
off
like
road,
about that train is it's an actual fired steam train, where the one over here is oil fired. That one's a coal train.
yeah. Well, the one over at Ardenwood was actually coal fired as well.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. Although some of us were wondering how long they're going to allow them to run it off coal, but they're going to keep doing it as long as they can. I have nothing. I mean, I model oil fired trains because it's easier for me, and I think it's cool because nobody does it. But for me, regardless of how you get the steam power, steam power, steam power. So
Right. Greg's out. Have a good one, Greg. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, dude. Have a good one, Chris.
Chris
But
out
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Have a good one, Chris.
But
I
yeah,
guess we might as well just go ahead and fold it up, huh?
yeah. Well, one thing I will say in conclusion, not on topic, is yeah, the Colorado trains are definitely big on my to-do list before they sadly become no more. Because those are one of those things where it's like the cost of running them is going to get higher, cost of repairing them is going to get higher, the cost of just running the railroad ain't going to get cheaper, and eventually, sadly, those things are just going to fold, which is a shame, but that's just the way it goes. You know.
Well, the thing is, the other thing too, when it comes to the environmental portion of it and all that,
Oh,
it's
geez,
not like they're running a great big operation to where it's just, you know, that's they got 10 or 12 trains. They only have like one or two.
Yeah, I had to survive my environmental science teacher's like 5-minute politically fueled environmental rant before she let us out today, and I'm just like, I'm gonna go back in my happy place and pretend I am not sitting in this in classroom 302 in the crappy science building at City College of San Francisco. Can we go now? I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a whole nother topic.
Oh, yeah.
What in the world? Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
God, you did not just do that.
I blame some dude named Dan who doesn't live in Sweden. So there.
Thank you very much, Curtis, for the $10. Thank you. We'll put that toward our Vegas fund.
Yeah. Maybe he's gonna like drop $10 like every time so that he can pay for you to do the Fremont Experience Zipline. I'm just teasing.
Timmy!
That'll probably go towards the Jimmy's gonna get the Grand Slam at Denny's at like 9 in the morning in Bakersfield fund.
That $10 almost pays. Oh, I will pay for 2 Grand Slams and a drink.
What do I know? Mister, I go to Denny's all the time to get my Grand Slam.
I kept telling Beth, said, let's just go to Denny's for Thanksgiving. She's like, that's what old people do. No, we're not doing that.
Did she really just say that?
She honestly told me that. So that's what old people do when they've given up.
If it makes you feel better, what we did is my mom put in an online order to Whole Foods for a turkey dinner, and I picked it up the day before Thanksgiving. So that's also what old people do.
Yeah, my friend Nelson, I forgot to invite him over for Thanksgiving dinner. And I told him, I said, why'd you have to wait for me to invite you? You know you're welcome. You're always welcome. And he's like, yeah, but you never called me and told me I could come. I said, dude, I've told you time and time again, you're always welcome here. You can always come. So they went down to Nana's, got baked potatoes. Made it up to him.
Did you hear that, Curtis? Nana's baked potatoes. I hear they're really good.
Nana's.
And why Nana's? PB&J thingies. Me. Because of me.
Curtis has had Nana's before.
Yeah, that's why I keep mentioning Nana's, because I hope it'll like trip something in his brain, be like, hey, yeah, I want to drive all the way down to Salinas and work on Jimmy's Hawaii thing. Oh man, the Moai thing is gonna rank right up there with the Datsun and the Datsun and the Datsun.
Says he is free on weekends. We need to make this happen.
Ditto. Hey, I'm now free because we don't have the train show to worry about. I should note that usually on second Saturdays is when the Yosemite Short Line club that I'm in has their work session, so I prefer to keep those free. Otherwise, I'm free this weekend, just saying.
Yeah, but I got to work, unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they got me from 1 to 9:45 or no,
That is
9:15, I think it was.
that is not cool, dude. That is totally not cool.
I
Then
know.
me and Curtis can go down there and work on the thing while you're gone, and we'll build it in 24 hours.
Curtis says, "Give us the key. You got it."
Is the key like a spoon or something? You just like stick in the door lock and you jiggle it until it opens.
While we're at it, once we get that one done, we'll go ahead and we'll build this other one too, so we can really have fun with it.
Like I've said, I'm genuinely curious to see if the claims made about that machine for both its good and its bad qualities hold true or not based off the model that we received.
Yeah.
That I'm genuinely curious about.
If it honestly comes down to rails not being the same length, come on.
Yeah. You're going to see me
Why
out
do
of
they
frame.
make a hacksaw?
You're going to see me out of frame with the belt scene and going, and then being all like, yeah, okay, it's accurate enough. Hey, we could drive over to Modesto to my friend's machine shop and come in proper length, just saying.
Or we could call China and say, okay, these are the wrong length. Can you send us the proper length, please?
Like, that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like
I'll put it this way, though. I'll put it this way, though. If we do have problems with the machine, it would be fun to contact customer support and see what happened, being that we do have a genuine problem.
I see Keith's in the house. How you doing, Keith? You coming in right as we're getting ready to go out?
That's when all the awesome people show up. Is like right when we're crashing, everybody's like, "Oh, I'll just like cruise on over to the chat and say hi." And we're all like, "Oh man, really?"
It's like, no, we should go longer.
Kind of like all those times, like 5 minutes before closing, Daniel in a race, he's like, "What's up, guys?" And we're like, "Oh, really?" You feel bad because you know, like they can't watch it live because they have to like wake up really early. But then again, you also feel bad because you know you're killing the stream right then. So whatever.
Well, you want to call it?
I say we call it before I start spinning any more stupid things.
But in closing, yeah, the affiliate links. We just got to kind of watch what we do and which way we go with them. I'm personally going to stick with the ones that I can trust. I mean, I deal with Amazon all the time. Yeah, that's probably going to end up taking over the world and all that, but Amazon is the Walmart of the internet.
For better or for worse, it's what's going to happen.
We're going to all end up working for Amazon at one point or another.
Oh man.
So
yeah,
bad.
I know. I guess my whole thing on the affiliate links thing is, like I've always said, I don't have anything against them. It's just if you're going to use them, please be respectful of people. Don't go shoving it in people's faces. Don't do deals with potentially shady companies. I understand if when you started out the company was good and went downhill, that's one thing. But definitely do business with the company. Figure out what their ethics and what their rules and all that stuff are before you really start signing any deals with them that really start locking you into questionable business practices that you start regretting or end up backfiring on you massively when some big old scandal comes out and they decide to throw you under the bus. That's being extreme, but
or if they try to get you to push a really bad product simply because you're going to be getting a commission for it.
Yeah.
That's they just start pushing. What will end up coming out of all this is if people start pushing really, really bad products and it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, when it's really not.
It's clearly deceptive marketing and deceptive advertising, pretty much trying to push a bag of poop as a bag of gold.
Yeah.
Flush
it. Just flush it.
Do what Jimmy said. Don't even look at it. Just down it goes.
Sometimes you don't need to look in the bowl. Just hit the button and flush it.
Oh, man.
And with that said, thank you very much for joining. Have a great night. Take care, and join us next week at 10:30 p.m. on Calvin's channel.
Later, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.